Broadcasting from Watts Creative Studios and live on Grove Street FM. You're listening to Talk Local to Me, brought to you by the Central Virginia Business Coalition.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Heather Alto with Central Virginia Business Coalition, and welcome back to Talk Local to Me.
Hi, and I'm Mike Norfield with Visiting Angels of Lynchburg, your co-host.
Yeah, allegedly. And we're going to keep saying that, Woody.
It's coming.
I know Woody's listening in
Woody
today.
Woody and I talked
whatever.
about it today, and he said he's trying to figure out how to just remove your name and if he can get away with that or not. So that's the only thing we're waiting on.
And then our millions of listeners would revolt.
Yes,
And-
both of them. Who?
Yeah. Okay. So welcome, everyone. I am back. I know you guys missed me last week, but it was really cool actually being able to listen into the show as I was driving back. I went on vacation for a couple of days and took a little rest break, but I did get to listen into the show. And it was kind of cool to be on the other end,
Right.
And just kind of listening. I tried to be like a caller. I was like, can I call in? And then Woody was like, no. And I was like, well, that's rude.
Right.
But whatever.
Yeah.
So thanks for tuning in today. And hopefully you are either listening to us on grovestreet.fm and you have, downloaded, subscribed, hit the follow, the ring button, all the great
all
things.
The good things.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking, we got a couple of guests today, and we are going to be talking about some events. And then we're also going to be talking about some marketing strategies and different things with like digital media and really excited to kind of dive into that. I know that's kind of a hot topic right now, or has been really since COVID. I feel like people have really kind of trying to expand like how they're getting their name out, to the public or to other business owners and things like that. But just to kind of give you guys a couple of upcoming things we've got going on with the CVABC next Thursday. I wanted to kind of hit on this real quick. We are going to be, so at the end of the month going into May, it's National Small Business Week. And as you guys know, the Central Virginia Business Coalition, that is what we do. We promote small business in our area. And we are partnering with the Bedford Area Chamber of Commerce here to do what we call a ribbon cutting palooza. And we're really excited about this. So next Thursday at 11 a.m., we're going to be at the Bedford Chamber of Commerce's office here in Bedford on Main Street. And we're going to be cutting ribbons for quite a few businesses. So we're going to have just everyone. And a lot of these businesses don't have your normal like brick and mortar stores that you can go to and cut a ribbon. So these are for business owners that, are working from home, or maybe you just don't have that space where they can incorporate a whole lot of people coming out. So we're going to have them and we're going to be cutting a bunch of ribbons. We're going to be working with the chamber. They've got the mayor with the town of Bedford coming out. And they're going to be doing a proclamation for National Small Business Week in our area. And then we also have local restaurants that are going to be offering 10% off of lunch that day. So after the event, you can go visit a lot of our local restaurants here in downtown Bedford and grab you something to eat. So really excited about that. And then we also have our CVABC Open, our putt-putt tournament coming up.
I'm excited for that.
I'm excited for that on the 30th. And we have teams already signing up. We've got whole sponsors signing up. And so it'll be a lot of fun. You can bring your family. It can be a team of your coworkers coming out to putt-putt and just playing around, grabbing some pizza, grabbing some soda, and giving back to a good cause, because the money we raise for this goes into education. We do a scholarship to a local high school senior going into the trades. So we use this money to be able to do that and just provide an event that's just, it's a lot of fun. It's not very stressful. You can just get out there. And if you dare to try to beat me in putt-putt, we'll see how it goes.
I think we need to have like an unofficial tournament where people can post their scores and we can see who's the champion of the day.
Yeah, we can. I'm going to be, so in case you didn't know, I'm competitive.
No.
A little bit. Just a little bit. I'll be that person that's like, like Happy Gilmore where he flings the golf club and
right.
He's, screaming and telling the ball to go into the hole. Like that's me. That is 100% me when we play putt-putt. So, but our first guest is going to be talking with us today about another event that is coming up very, very soon, next weekend to be precise. And welcome Will with the Peaks Retreat and Adventure Center. How are you today?
Good morning, Heather. I'm doing just fine.
So tell us about, I know because the CVABC is a sponsor of the I guess it's technically the first annual.
It is.
Yeah. Peaks Art and Wine Festival. So tell us all the details.
Yeah, absolutely. So this coming Saturday on April 27th from 12 to 6 p.m., the Peaks Adventure and Retreat Center will be hosting the first annual Peaks Wine, Beer, and Art Festival. We'll have several local wineries and breweries, local artisans, as well as live music throughout the day and several local food trucks.
So you have wine. There's also some meaderies, right? And cideries coming out.
That's correct.
So, and I say that because I'm a lover of wine. Not so much the lover of cider. I try it, but it's just a little too bubbly for me. I don't know. But I know people have different tastes. Like people are going to come out for the beer. Some like my husband, I'm sure is going to be really glad that there's beer there because he's not the wine. I don't say I'm a connoisseur, but I do have like a lot of wine at my house. But so it's really cool that you're going to have all those different varieties, for people to choose from, and it gives them the opportunity to come and either try something new or stick to what they like.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're really excited to have local favorites, Fables and Feathers, Graham Ordinary Meadery, Beals Brewery, Three Notch Brewing Company. We'll also have some non-alcoholic options through Three Notch as well, so we're pretty excited about that. Potter's Craft Cider, and we're also going to have offerings from Barbersville Vineyards.
No. What?
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
I love Barbersville.
We're really excited that they'll be able to participate, as well as Stinson Vineyards and Southwest Mountain Vineyards.
Oh, so what I want to know with Three Notched is, did you just see where they released their new Bomb Pop beer?
Oh, yeah.
It's supposed to taste like a Bomb Pop.
Right.
I'm so wanting to try one of those if they have that there.
I hear they're really good. We may or may not have those.
I know. I figure maybe they'll slide it in there. We'll see. But you guys have got a great selection of wineries that are going to be there. So, and like I said, meaderies and cideries. And of course, if you haven't been, we had Fables and Feathers on a couple weeks ago, and one of my favorite local wineries. So definitely come out and try, something for everyone. And then you also have bands. So tell us a little bit about who's playing.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited about this because my background is working primarily in music festivals. So we're going to have local favorites, Hunter Overstreet Music.
Oh, good.
He'll be doing some 80s and 90s classic rock.
Yeah.
We're going to have a traditional bluegrass band, Farm Youth String Band. They'll be playing an hour-long set. They'll also be leading a bluegrass dance, the Virginia Reel, Sleal, Slide, and Clap dance.
Oh.
And then to close out the evening, we're going to have Surrender Dorothy. They'll also be doing some rock music.
Very cool. Very cool.
Hunter Overstreet is a staple at Centerfest every year. We have Hunter Overstreet come. He always kind of kicks off our festival there.
Yeah, and he does a great job.
He does. And he also, he plays like one of my favorite songs. And so, no, I know which one you're thinking. It's not the one from Eve 6. He plays my favorite song from the Gin Blossoms. So he knows it's my favorite song. So like, it doesn't matter which festival I go to. Like I'll see him at the Garlic Festival. And he'll be like, okay, well, I'm going to play this. And I know Heather's listening. So here you go. And he'll throw it out there. Because I'm like a groupie.
Right.
Follow him around. I'm like, play my favorite song.
Play my song. Play it now.
But he does such a great job. And Surrender Dorothy is good too. And I'm interested to hear the bluegrass band.
Yeah.
It's nice that you have like a variety of different music too. It's not just one set genre.
Absolutely. We want to make sure we have something for everyone at the Peaks Retreat and Adventure Center.
Yeah. And what was the date on that again? Was it the 27th?
Yes.
Oh, excellent. So not
this
Saturday coming up, the Saturday after that.
Correct. So tell us about ticket prices.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you buy early, buy in advance, tickets will be $25. And that includes a collectible wine glass or beer cup. That's going to include 5 wine or beer tastings and 1 beer ticket to one of our breweries. And those are for guests 21 plus. Designated drivers and guests 17 to 20 years old can purchase tickets for $10, and kids 16 and under get in for free.
Awesome.
So even if somebody doesn't like to drink alcohol, or if that's not their thing, but they want to come hear the bands, they can get a reduced ticket.
Absolutely.
A non-drinking ticket.
A non-drinking ticket, if you will.
Yeah, that's great. So it's a wide variety of options for people of all ages.
Well, and I also think that the great part about this is the opportunity for people to come out and actually see the Peaks Retreat and Adventure Center. Because I know a lot of people that have come to, like, we did our Lead On Summit there, and
event.
People were like, oh, we didn't even know this existed.
Right.
And so I think it's a great opportunity for people to come and see what you guys have to offer, because there's so many things.
And they've got a love sign that makes a great picture. taking spot. So
will y'all be giving like tours of the facility too for anyone who wants to kind of see what y'all have out there?
Yeah, absolutely. So all of our staff is going to be all hands on deck that day, but I'm actually going to be around for some one-on-one time. If anybody wants to learn more about the Peaks Retreat and Adventure Center, I'll mainly be at the info booth, but I'll also be giving some tours throughout the day.
awesome.
Okay. And then one last thing I'm going to touch on, because everybody, of course, wants to know about food. What type of food options do we have?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have Porterhouse Barbecue,
Mm.
the Hangry Bulldog, which is one of my personal favorites. Bros Insist, Rolled or Bold will be on site.
Oh, rolled or bold is
Oh,
also
rolled,
good.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get something from everybody. Now I've never had the what'd you say, the Hangry
The
Bulldog?
Hangry Bulldog.
What do they serve?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're out of Roanoke. They'll do burgers, barbecue, really good.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting. I've had something from the other three. So maybe I'll have to try the Hangry Bulldog
Yeah.
first and then, pace myself. A little wine here, a little burger there, a little wine here, a little barbecue there. I'll have to
Spread it out through the day.
pace myself throughout the day. So, well, that sounds like a lot of fun. Hopefully people will go online and get their tickets. I plan to be there most of the day. And is there opportunity for people to volunteer?
Yeah, absolutely. We're still looking for volunteers in all areas. So if there's anything you're interested in, whether that's helping us ID check, parking cars, helping the vendors load in, load out, we love our volunteers. And volunteers also receive some swag from the Peaks Retreat and Adventure
Mhm.
Center. So that's a plus, as well as free admission to the event.
Can I volunteer to just be like a wine taster prior to the event to make sure everything's kosher? Like, I just want to make sure everything's good. Like,
Oh,
is that
yeah.
cool?
For $25.
I got it for $25,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
$30.
There is a
tickets for me.
volunteer registration fee for that.
Love it.
So yeah.
I love it. So tell us again where people can go to get their tickets.
Yeah, so you can go to thepeakcenter.com.
Awesome. All right.
Awesome.
Is there anything else that I didn't touch on or we need to throw out there? Just is this rain or shine? Let's throw that out there too, because I want to make sure people know.
Yeah, this is a rain or shine event, and we're really excited to open our doors to the community. Like you said, not a lot of people have been out to the peaks. And so we're really excited to show them what we have to offer amongst our 3+ mile of trails, our pond. We have an amazing disc golf course. So come on out. We're excited to host.
Awesome. Thanks, Will, so much for coming on. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Awesome.
Jinx.
In stereo. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thank you so much for coming on with us. Again, mark your calendars, not this coming Saturday, but next Saturday, the 27th. We'll want to see you out at the Peaks Retreat and Adventure Center and having a good time. So make sure you get those tickets early and save yourself a little money.
Yeah.
Yep. Awesome. So we're going to go to a short commercial. And when we come back, we are going to be talking marketing.
Visiting Angels, America's Choice in Home Care, is now serving Lynchburg and the surrounding counties from their new location at 2201 Linghorn Road, providing our community with personal care services, including assistance with bathing, dressing, meal preparation, grocery shopping, light housekeeping, and much more. Our trained staff have to pass all of our requirements for a high standard of care, ensuring that you have a compassionate, kind, and qualified caregiver. Our office team works with you as a partner in providing care for you or your family member to make the task of starting and continuing care an easier process. At Visiting Angels, we understand that every individual is different. That's why our team of dedicated caregivers is committed to providing tailored assistance to make you happier and healthier at home. Call 434-439-4698 to learn more about our services and schedule a free in-home, no-obligation consultation. Trust Visiting Angels in Lynchburg to bring peace of mind to you and your loved ones.
Visiting Angels, America's Choice in Home Care.
Wow, I might be a little biased, but that's a great commercial. Just because it's for Visiting Angels and recorded by me. So if you're like, hey, that's a great commercial, I'd love to be able to promote my business that way. You can reach out to Heather at cvabc.org or go to cvabc.org and get some information there about how you could fill that spot with your business. So we got a little photo session going
Sorry,
on.
I'm over here getting my picture taken.
Woody, we've got
Yeah.
the wonderful Emma producing for us today. So we've got Woody over here. I don't know what he's doing today, but he's getting some pictures and things like that. So
Yeah.
it's kind of throwing me off a little bit here.
So, speaking of doing the commercial sponsorship,
Yeah.
we, I definitely encourage you if you're out there, it's $100 for a month to do the Host Right commercial. That's like really
Really reasonable.
Inexpensive, I would say, reasonable, good way to get your name out there because, while we aren't live, I don't know, this gets uploaded, right after the show,
Right.
To anywhere that you can get your podcast at. So
And we have a lot of
going to be
loyal
heard.
listeners
Yeah, we do have a lot of loyal
that tune in
listeners.
live every week. And we appreciate you.
I actually had a listener come in this week and she got upset because last week she was listening and she got halfway through and then she had to go do something. And so she shut it down. And then when she came back, she had to start from like the beginning again. And like, she was trying to find her spot, but, but she did tell me, she was like, I listen to you every week. And,
Yeah.
Even if I have to pause it and come back and, I always make sure to.
Yeah.
to
So
listen in,
I was telling my son, he called me last week during the show and I was like, sorry, I was doing the podcast. And he was like, you do a podcast? I'm like, do you not pay attention? So Chris, if you're listening, pay attention.
Yeah.
And he went back and listened to a couple episodes and he thought it was hilarious because I made fun of his brother on the last episode, called him a bottomless pit. But it was, he enjoyed it. And he was like, that's actually really cool. He's like, you do that every week? It was, I was like, yeah. He thought it was cool to learn about different businesses in the area and things like that just from listening to a couple episodes last week. So.
Well, I know with our next guest, like they can go back and tell, like what I'm doing here is I'm trying to beat out Brett and, Taylor with 94.9. No, I listen to them every morning. I'll always say like, if Taylor ever leaves, I'll come help Brett. I'll be his morning co-host, but no, just kidding. So we have Cindy and Freddie with us from Wheeler Digital. How are you guys doing?
Great. Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Happy you're here.
Yeah, we're happy you're here. And I'm happy to, kind of dive in with you guys on what Wheeler does in the marketing, fields. I think a lot of people think, okay, it's radio. It's so much more than radio. And there's so many things you guys have to offer business owners in our area to get their name out and promote them in the area, but also just offering support and knowledge in what marketing looks like and how that looks. Because I think, especially I know even myself, I say I'm technologically challenged, but I'm also just not good at marketing. Like, I can't do it on my own. I have to reach out. And that's what I think you have a lot of people like, oh, I can do it. And then you realize you can't really do it well. Or
I was going to say you can do it, but doing it and doing it well are two different things.
That's two different things.
And having effective marketing is important and being able to, like I've been learning over the last year, like it's really important to find a way to be able to kind of tell your story. Like people don't care that we're visiting angels and we do care, like in-home care, things like that. But when they find out why we got started, things like that, like that really resonates with people a lot more. So,
Yeah.
So I know we're going to chat with you guys about like the consumer buying cycle. And I think that's really important because a lot of times when you're, I know for us, when we're pushing something out, you want to kind of know who you're reaching out to and how you're, grabbing their attention and like, basically the consumer and how you're getting them to actually buy from you when you're doing all the marketing and putting in the money and those things. So, but before we get into that, I wanted to kind of give you the opportunity to just tell everybody a little bit about Wheeler and what you guys do and, go from there.
Yeah. So speaking of telling your story, we, over the last several months have been working on rebranding to Wheeler Media Solutions because we have 7 radio stations under our umbrella and a digital advertising agency. So that became kind of clunky to explain to people.
Mm-hmm.
So those radio stations are 94.9 Star Country, they're Q99, K92, The Vibe, The Rock Channel, Sports Radio, WPLY, and WFIR. And all of those stations, except for WFIR, which is probably on the fringe, reach the entire territory that Central Virginia Business Coalition covers. So that's the broadcast side. I'll let Freddie maybe talk a little bit about all the cool things we're doing on the digital side, but what we hear from hundreds of business owners that we talk to every day is that they're usually struggling to figure out how to make that story and tell that story relevant to their next customers. So, but I'll let Freddie pipe in with a little bit about Wheeler Digital.
Yeah. So on the digital side, radio can be mass media, right? You're reaching a huge group to just build that awareness of your brand.
Mm-hmm.
But with digital, the targeting that you can get, the hyper specific targeting, targeting people who are in market for your product or who have done something online to let us know that they're in that buying cycle.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of comes in at the bottom of the sales funnel. So as we get into the conversation about the buying cycle, digital really comes in at the bottom for the most part. There are, OTT, which is over the top, seeing commercials inside of internet connected TVs. That's more so like a radio branding, a big, broad
Mm-hmm.
reach, but we have products that get very hyper specific.
I think, many years ago, 5 years ago, wasn't that many.
That's a long time ago.
Oh yeah. I did a stint working in marketing for a company that did some digital media, and one of the things I found fascinating, and it was kind of in the early, I don't say early stages because I'm sure y'all been doing this for a while, but like it was new to me. Let's put it that way. But you know how you could do the targeted marketing campaigns. And I thought that was super smart. And I tried to really explain that to businesses how, like, you could put like the geo fencing around like a certain area. So like if like, let's say for this wine festival, someone could do that and put that in there. So they know those people are very specifically going there because they drink wine or they drink beer or they, are interested in the arts.
Like bluegrass.
Yeah. And so then it kind of would populate and say, hey, here's who we're going to push that your marketing to. So like if you're a winery and you want to push your name out continuously, you want to do, pick those certain things to kind of geo fence. Am I saying it correctly?
You are.
Yeah. Okay. See, look at me. I remember things.
There you go.
But I thought that was so smart because, I think a lot of times people spend money throwing something out to see if it sticks.
Right.
Yes.
But with this, it's going to a targeted audience and that are specifically looking for the product you are, serving, the product that you're selling. And I tried to like put that out to people. And I think back, when I was doing it, people were still a little skeptical. It was coming off of, well, we hadn't hit COVID yet because that was 5 years ago. But still, I just think it was kind of new to people. The concept was new.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, I think nowadays more people should really look into that sort of thing.
It's so measurable too. You can immediately see results so that you can shift and move things around if you see that the optimization need is there. So
yeah, because if I was a non-drinker, of course, they're not going to want to send that stuff, to me. I'm not going to those sort of things. I'm not their target audience.
Right.
And I guess that's kind of plays into understanding your consumers and who you're selling to.
Yeah.
yes.
And it's so important to really understand, to talk to your consumers, message them throughout the decision-making process, because oftentimes decisions are made far before an advertiser will think to even communicate. We hear of advertisers that are only talking to the bottom of the funnel right before they make that purchase, and it's really hard to change their mind.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do a really good job long before that, then your top of mind awareness. And so really understanding what's going through a customer's mind as they're going throughout that process is so key.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why a lot of people think advertising doesn't work.
Right.
Because they're only talking to them in one stage of that cycle.
Yeah. Well, and I think a lot of people think when they advertise, it's supposed to be immediate.
Mhm.
Like, I played a commercial on the radio, or I put up a digital billboard, or I did this, and all of the people are going to flood to my,
Right.
to my business. And I think, most of the times you have to at least do 3 months to 6 or more before you start seeing results coming in.
Absolutely.
And then also, I think one thing people also need to understand is not everyone's going to come in and say, oh, I'm here because of this.
Yeah.
So do you
Yeah.
have something measurable to ask or to show, like, how did you hear about us?
Right.
So I think that's another big piece to it too.
Yeah.
Definitely. In the beginning, creating the top of mind awareness and the brand understanding and remembering, the phones aren't going to ring off the hook, right? So we have to push that customer down further in the sales funnel to the next level.
Right.
Yeah.
Or my favorite, I'm going to let people know I'm out here. And,
Yeah.
I think for a business owner, getting your message out, it is about you a little bit, but really it's not about you. It's
Mhm.
about your consumer,
Yeah.
your next customer, what's going on in their life, that they should even consider using your product or service. And I
Right.
think sometimes we jump the gun. I know a lot on the radio side, we will get copy points from a client, and it'll be a laundry list of what they do. And we really have to massage that
Yeah.
and kind of explain why does that matter to the listener
Yeah.
on the radio side.
Yep.
And it's much more nuanced than people think.
So, talking about like, let's kind of dive into understanding the consumer buying cycle and, tell us why businesses need to tell their story and, talk to the customers they haven't met yet.
I think it's all awareness. You have to build. You have to first get the name recognition out there,
Mhm.
right? And then once people start to understand, they're going to naturally think of you. They might not be in need of the product that you offer right now or the service. Insurance, as an example, I'm not in need for insurance right now, but if something changes further down the road, I want to know who to think about. So whoever is advertising the most, and I'm hearing that name repetitively, that's probably who I will go straight to Google and find their phone number for.
Right.
So I think that's why it's important from my seat.
Yeah, I mean, I would totally agree with that. I was telling Freddie not long ago that in the past 3 years, I replaced our roof. We did a home remodel and we replaced our heating and air conditioning, and those are very long cycle things. But even despite that, I didn't even search for who might do it because I already had in mind based off of messaging that I had received
Right.
for quite some time before that. Now, not every person's going to do that, but still, you want a brand recognition so that if they do go to Google, they're going to know of your name,
Mhm.
and that is going to trump where you fall necessarily on the page.
Well, just a pitch real quick for Wheeler, and I'll just kind of throw it back to 94.9 because that's my morning jam. Is that like, I feel like if I ever needed a personal injury, like Mark Schollrold, I'm calling him because that's all I consistently hear every single day, about, Mark Schollrold. So I'm always like,
and a
hey,
lot of
I
things
don't
like-
need one right now,
Right.
but should I ever?
That's a great example.
So like
That's
a
potentially who
personal,
I'm going to.
personal injury lawyer like that's not something that you need like every day or every month.
Absolutely.
And it's the same thing with like Visiting Angels. Everything that we do is just like it's pushing our brand out there so that when people need services like ours, I just want them to be us. I want us to be the first name they think of.
Yes.
Like, I can't put an ad up and say, hey, we've got a 25% sale on shoes this week. Like that's not the kind of business that we have. And there's a lot of businesses out there that, it's very time specific for each customer. It's not necessarily like needing a new roof. Like you don't think about that until you need it. You're not, planning ahead for that unless your roof is, got some age on it, things like that. Like, usually that's most of the time when roofing companies get called, it's because something's wrong or you're doing a remodel or something like that.
Right. And to that point, if a customer does not have a need or desire, a coupon's not going to change that. A discount's
Right.
not going to change that. Your brand and your story is going to come into play when they need it. So again, it's on their timetable, which often is not as fast as sometimes businesses would like to think that is.
Yeah.
Right.
Heck, I'm one of those people that I get my like $10 in Kohl's cash, and I even forget to go back. I mean, I physically have a free $10, go back and get me something I want. And half the time, because I don't necessarily need to go shopping for something, it expires before I go use it, which is sad to say.
Yeah.
I should. But then I'm also like, well, if I go use it, I'm going to spend more money because
And then you get more Kohl's cash and then you go back and then,
it's a never-ending
Deadly.
cycle.
They know what they're doing.
Of
Yeah.
Heather not spending her money. They know me. They're like, oh, this lady's not coming back.
right.
We'll give her all the Kohl's cash. So let's talk about the consumer buying cycle and like the different like stages that people kind of businesses need to be aware of.
Right. So I'll start. The awareness stage is really what Freddie just referenced. They right now they may not need your product or service, not be ready to buy, but this is when you really need to be making them aware of who you are and tell your story. And it's where creating top of mind awareness for your brand begins. Is when people think they don't need you. And there's a lot of marketing books that I read from time to time, but one of the best ways I've heard to describe that is we really want to be known before you're ever needed. And that's what that awareness stage is really all about. And I'll let Freddie talk about the consideration stage, which is the next
Sure.
stage in the buying cycle.
Yeah. So after your brand name is heard, it's kind of put out there and broadcast to the masses. Then there's kind of that consideration phase, right? Something happens in your life that triggers you need that service now, right? So something happens, so we need visiting angels, or something happens to the roof and suddenly we need it replaced. So in that consideration phase, that's when people are remembering the brand, but they're also going to Google. They're looking for more information. They're asking their peers, what is it that you liked about that company? And as they're gathering that information, the key, I think, to getting people to do what you want is frequency. You can't just run a schedule for a week and
Right.
expect that to work. You have to definitely have frequency. So the more times they're seeing your ad, the more times they're hearing your ad, the better off you as the business owner and marketer are. So that really is the consideration stage. And that's where it really opens up to more digital products. Of course, radio works at every level of this funnel, but on the digital side, getting more specific with the geofencing, that is a great thing to do with the product that we call mobile conquesting, which is serving ads inside of mobile apps, mobile websites, mobile games. So.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I have definitely fallen for, you always there and go, I think my phone is listening to me, because you do something, the next thing you know,
Right.
that ad's popping up on Facebook, or, you're seeing something, coming up. But it works, because I'm not gonna lie. There are times that I'm like, I'm just going to click.
Yeah.
I'm just going to see, like, that looks interesting. I think I want to buy that. And, it has led to me at times buying something I probably didn't need, but
Right.
I wanted after I looked at it and, really kind of went to the website and learned more about it.
Yeah, especially if it's something that, like, you didn't know existed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't even know I needed that kind of thing. Yeah.
Like, I didn't know I needed a chicken shredder until a few days ago. And then I bought one yesterday because I saw it somewhere. And I don't remember where it was, but it's like you put a chicken, like a breast of chicken, and you turn it and it shreds it completely. And you don't have to touch it. And I love it. Now I'm excited to get my chicken shredder.
Cool.
But that was something that just like popped up, and I don't even know why. Maybe I went and ate chicken and they decided, I don't know. But anyway,
Angry Joe's, and they tracked you.
actually, I went to the Royal Farms. It was right after I went to Royal Farms for their soft opening. So I don't know. But anyway, but I think that's, that's right. And I think too, when it kind of going into like the awareness and then into the consideration stage, you're right. People do start to Google ahead of time or research ahead of time, so they're aware and ready for when they do need it. And so, I think
And
that's
why a
big.
website is so important. And having it easy to understand, flows easy, answers their questions, and also a live chat,
Mhm.
right? This is where they may first engage with a business. They may not be ready to buy yet, but they're doing their research, they're gathering information, and then they'll start comparing
Mhm.
and that kind of thing. And I know live chat is, we do it a little differently than a lot of other companies. I mean, Freddie can expound on that, but the website is just, it's so important, and having a good experience, because if they don't have a good experience when they're researching, no matter how much we retarget, they may not come back.
Right.
Yeah. And you're so right about the website piece to it. I know a lot of businesses, and if you're a small business, I get it. Sometimes you don't have it in the budget to start and get that website up and running, and maybe you're using your Facebook page or something like that. But I know for me, 9 times out of 10, if I Google or look for a business and they don't have a website, I usually go on to the next one, because I don't have the opportunity to research as much as I would like to on the business.
Right.
So, that's always something to think about if you're out there. And
especially because, especially if you Google them and they don't have a website, like being able to look at like Google reviews and things like that is also important.
Yes.
Things like that.
Google My Business page.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Always a free resource to do that if the budget's not there for a website.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Awesome.
Yep.
So then what do they do after they have considered what they need?
Well, they start evaluating all their alternatives, right? So they're going to be comparing all the research that they found. May at this point talk to family and friends even further, get referrals, and then just kind of make that judgment call. This is the stage where they're getting really close. This is where they may walk into a business, ask some questions, call the business, because they've honed in that they're pretty close to deciding that on the business that they're going to use, but it can be swayed.
Yeah.
It's harder, but it can be swayed still, at this stage. And it's kind of commonly called, close to the bottom of the sales funnel because it's near impossible at that point to change their mind. Am I right, Freddie?
Right. Yeah. These people,
Yeah.
they're ready to make a decision. The goal of a business is to push as many people to this point as you can because
Yeah.
they are ready to make that purchase.
And I would think if they're, talking to family and friends and looking at reviews or maybe, talking to other business owners, things like that, depending on, what they're looking for, this is also a good reason for the advertising because there's other people that may be also
Absolutely.
listening to, whether it's radio or doing something on digital. And they're like, oh, hey, have you considered this person? Because I've seen or heard a lot about this person. So that's also, they might not have been your target market at first, but they've been hitting other people. And then they can still, give that information or give that referral out instead of just going online and Googling and getting the top person. And again, like my dad. That's all I'm going to say about that subject.
Yeah, our number one referral source that I can track is people that we've talked to about care before. So
Yeah.
Right.
when we've talked to somebody and we kind of, I always joke that I always wanted to be a CEO. So I'm the chief education officer. Every client I go to, I want to educate them about our services and other services that are available that we don't offer. Because sometimes they think they're looking for us, but they're really looking for like home health or hospice or, PT, OT, physical therapy, occupational
Right.
therapy, things like that. So, when I've talked to families and then had someone call us and they were like, oh, this person referred me to you. And it's somebody that I went to talk to about care that they didn't choose us. Either they didn't get care at all or they picked another company, something like that, but they referred. And so keeping that, you never know who your true key demographic is, especially in a community like ours where everybody talks to everybody. Like I don't know how many posts I see on Facebook a day.
Mm-hmm.
Who can I call for this?
Yep.
Right. And they're kind of listening to the group mentality of, well, this is the company to call for that.
Absolutely.
And so, sometimes your key demographic isn't really what you think it is, or what might work one month versus the next is not necessarily the exact thing you're focusing
Right.
your energy on. So
Yeah.
you've got to kind of you've got to have a focused yet wide net, kind of on both fronts to be able to
Right.
to reach people.
I think on the digital front, things like search engine optimization
Right.
come into play here.
Mhm.
You want to be that first business that pops up
Right.
when somebody knows they need care, like what you're offering. You
Right.
want to be there, and then when they see the brand, they tie it back to the people they've just spoken with. And
Right.
It's all a trust building effort at this
Yeah.
point.
And so I think that's great that, like, because I just talking about the focus in the wide net, because like with radio, that's kind of a wide net because all sorts of different people listen to the radio, things
Mhm.
like that, different stations, things like that, but also with being able to use the same company to do that focused SEO,
Right.
and geofencing kind of thing that you've kind of, you've got the shotgun and the rifle.
Mhm.
So, you're able to kind of go
I
through
love
both.
that.
Yep.
So,
And we
Right.
really do.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So somebody's like, they've made their decision. They're like, this is where I'm going to go. What's next? Obviously.
Yeah. So, they're going to make the purchase.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's online, sometimes it's in the store, but regardless, what you really want to have is a good experience in that transaction. And what's also really key is just following that up with continued engagement with the customer. So it kind of flows very fast from purchase to post
Right.
purchase. I think some good strategies that a business could do is like call one of their customers a few days after the purchase, a week after the purchase, depending on what it is that they purchased, and just check in with them and see how it's going, see if they have any questions, that kind of thing. Do you have
Mhm.
anything to add?
I think follow up, getting people's email address and sending them, adding them to your newsletter and all of those types of things, asking for the review, right?
Yeah.
So key.
We just talked about how peer reviews are important to visiting angels. And
Yeah.
I think that's huge. But one of the tactics that I love the most with digital targeting is we can take a list of people who have bought from you, upload that to our system, and find people in the same geography that look like those people. what better way to reach your next
Oh.
customer, right?
Yeah.
So they're doing the same things in life. They have the same demographics. They live in
Right.
the same neighborhoods. Now let's start this buying cycle over again and reach new people.
Right.
And help your former customers influence your next
Right.
customers. And I think that's so
That's good.
that's so key.
I love what you said about follow up because we recently got a new CRM system at our office and it's allowed us to do some more of those types of things pretty seamlessly. Like, for us, we sell, memberships. Businesses come in, they become a member, and there's so many things we offer them that we want to let them know about. So we now have implemented a system where, like, within 24 hours of them joining, we send out an email that says, "Hey, thank you for joining. Don't forget, here's some of your business, your benefits. You can go ahead and sign up for a one-on-one meeting with Heather so you can come in and chat with her. Go ahead and sign up for the podcast." And we give them that link. And, so we try and put those things right there, but do it pretty quickly so they don't think, oh, they just took my money and, I'm not hearing from them ever again.
Yeah, and I think a lot of small to medium businesses need to start thinking like big businesses. So Monday I ordered miniature Post-it notes from Staples, and they came in a great big huge box. I'm still not sure why. Totally irrelevant, but I just thought it was funny. And so I got an email as soon as they were delivered. I got an email and said, "How was your experience?" And I'm like, "It was Post-its. Like, there's not a whole lot of experience there."
Right.
But that's all automated through Staples and things like that. That's not a person sending that out. But to get something set up into when you have a customer, to have that follow up and have it built into your system, whether that system is an automated email that goes out or you're actually just reaching out to them, and depending on what your business is. So I know our heating and air, the first day it got warm, we switched it to air conditioning, and our air conditioning would not cut on. So we called the company to come out and work on it, and the tech left, and we got a text thing that says, "Hey, how did we do? Would you leave us a review or on this experience?"
Right.
Because it's not just important to get one review on your business, but to have it current and updated. So
Right.
if you have more than one interaction with somebody and it was good, definitely reach out to them and try to get that review to be fresh and new. Because I know, especially in the Google My Business, that's important that the reviews are newer and not just
Absolutely.
you can have 1,000 reviews from 5 years ago, but what are you doing now, kind of thing. So, but just kind of having that, even if you have to do it almost manually, depending on your business, and how viable that is, your customer count, things like that. But it's important to have that big business mentality of, I'm going to follow up and ask how we did, and because that's the only way you're going to learn if you're really reaching your customers where they are.
Well, and I love that we have you guys on the show today because I think a lot of people don't realize, again, I think it's this towards the beginning, that y'all offer these types of services for businesses. And I also think you're going to have a lot of the smaller businesses that probably think, oh, well, I won't be able to afford, Wheeler. They have all these radio stations, but you guys are very affordable and you can really work with them to figure out, they may not need everything, but you can kind of really sit down with them and focus on what their niche is or what they may need for their business specifically. Because like we've said, it's not a one size fits all for everyone.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. I think we pride ourselves on two separate things. First being, everything is custom. It's not a copy and paste. Every business is different, right? So every campaign, radio, digital, always custom. But then also, I liked what you said about the chief education officer.
Right.
That's exactly my job, right? We do seminars and we go out and we talk and we educate. There are a lot of free tools that you can do that help with the branding and the sales funnel and all of these things, like the Google My Business and reviews and social media mastery, all of these things. So that's part of what it is. So if your budget as a new business does not allow you to partner with us right now, we'll be there to help you get started. And when that cash register grows enough and you are able to come on board, then we're there as a partner.
So speaking of education, we're going to be working with you guys at hosting a lunch and learn for businesses in our area. And I'll preface this by saying you don't have to be a member of the CVABC to come in and learn and be educated on things that may help your business. That's, we have memberships and there are things that you get for that. But I'm a strong advocate for being able to offer things to the community and to business owners because we want to see them grow and thrive. And so we kind of fit that same thing. I have businesses that go, oh, we can't afford to be a member right now, or we're just kind of starting out. And that's fine. So again, come and see what we have to offer. Come and partake in some of these things that may help you be able to eventually get that
right.
membership or do those things. So let's talk a little bit about the Lunch and Learn and what we're going to be talking about there.
Yeah. The Lunch and Learn is going to be April 25th at the CVABC Forest location at 12 o'clock. And we're going to be diving deeper into some of what we discussed today with some strategies to use throughout every stage of the buying cycle. And I think we're really excited about that. And you've got one coming up in May.
Yes. So in May, we're actually doing the topic I just mentioned, social media mastery. So if you're interested in signing up for that, again, free, open to everybody. We'll have it in person in Roanoke at our office, but also a webinar online. You can just go to wheelerdigital.com to sign up.
What date is
for
that one?
That is May 1st, Wednesday. It's 9:00.
Okay. So now with the social media, do you talk about, okay, so I can Facebook. I can throw things on Facebook. I'm horrendous at everything else. So are you going to talk about like LinkedIn or potentially just as a whole social media, or will you dive into any of the specific like different ones like Instagram or?
So we're really focusing on Facebook and Instagram. Those are still the top two, no matter what research you look at. Although there are all of these social medias out there now that we each have on our phone, Facebook is still king. So that's where we will spend the most of our time.
I like it.
But then looking at it from a business owner perspective, things like Facebook Insights, which is a free tool. We all can look at who is engaging with our Facebook page, figure out what content has previously worked, and how do we build more content that looks like that.
Okay. Right. Well, I need help with Instagram too, because I don't do much with Instagram either. I'm trying to be better about it. I'm just not. I don't know. I say I'm not tech savvy. I'll get there and I'll start I'll try to do like TikToks or something, and I can't figure out how to piece them together, and then I get frustrated and throw my phone down and I'm done. So I need
we need to do a TikTok for Talk Local to Me.
Well, we are going to do one. That's what I'm trying to start. I've been talking to Woody about doing a Talk Local to Me TikTok where we actually go to the businesses and talk local to them there, like do like on spot interviews in their business. So then it kind of keeps people's thoughts on the show, but then also we're personally going out and meeting and greeting, because there's a lot, because we're live, there's some of our members that can't necessarily always just drop what they're doing and come be on the show. So instead of me dragging Woody out with me with recordings and stuff, I thought this would be cool. Like I'll just take some videos and we'll piece it together and do a quick little fun thing.
Right.
Take the show on the road.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking. Yeah. But so yeah, I think that would be a great opportunity. So there's two Lunch and Learns that you guys can, if you're listening and want to get some more information on both of those things, can sign up for. And where can they go again to look at that information?
Sure. It's wheelerdigital.com, WHEELER digital.com.
Okay. And then you can also sign up for ours by contacting me or going on our website. We'll have the link for you to register to the one at the CVABC office for next Thursday. And our Lunch and Learns, again, there's no charge for them. You can come in, like I said, from noon to 1 and, just learn. I mean, that's what it's all about. We want people to take kind of control of their business and see, how they can, grow.
Yeah. And if you think you've got your marketing down and you think you've got it all right, it's still great to go to things like this because so through some of our conversation today, it kind of triggered things in the back of my head like, oh, I should be doing this. I have the ability, I have the programs, et cetera, to be able to do these things, and I'm not doing them. So it's always a good thing to kind of and things change, right? Things are not the same as they were 5 years ago, right? So
absolutely.
Our business is completely different. We don't, we opened 7 years ago. This is our 7th year in business, and we don't do anything the same from the way we did in the beginning, as far as, office work and background and things like that. So.
And I've also been really encouraged by, we've done Lunch and Learns in the past, and we've had some that have had some marketing context to it. But, I've even had other marketers come to other marketing websites because not everyone is strong in everything. Does that make sense? Like you may say, hey, I'm really good at social media, but I'm not strong with the Instagram piece of it or this or that. And so I've really been encouraged by seeing business owners coming and learning from each other, even when they're in that same sort of what people would consider competition. However, it's really not. It's, collaboration, or just bettering themselves in their knowledge. And that's been really great to see, because I know for me, like even running the CVABC, like I'm sitting here saying like I'm not great at social media. Like that is not my jam when it comes to how I can help your business grow. Like, I actually rely on people like, Wheeler and different marketers to help me out. Right here at Grove Street FM, we've got the show here. So there's things that like I just feel better letting someone else handle for me, because I'd rather,
I talk about this all the time.
do that.
People start a business because they have a passion for something,
right.
but that passion is rarely marketing, bookkeeping, or actually, running payroll and offices and things like that. That's rarely the
Filing.
passion. It's usually
I need a
something
professional
else.
filer.
Right.
Just come file stuff at my office.
So being able to know who to rely on to kind of outsource those things, because especially as small business owners, like we can't do everything.
Right.
Like we've got to be able to delegate those things out. And for a lot of people, talk about me, it's hard to delegate things out, right? Because this is kind of my baby, and I want to make sure that this baby's taken care of.
Right.
And sometimes we need that babysitter or that that nanny or the doctor, because we don't know what's wrong with the baby, things like that. Like sometimes we need those outside sources.
And the other thing is, even if it is your passion, do you have time to do it? And can you keep up with the ever evolving technology and strategies and resources? Probably not.
Right.
And we love to educate and be a really good resource for all of our clients. And I think it's one of the things we pride ourselves on.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah.
So if you've been listening in, and we've kind of thrown a lot of things out at you guys when we've been talking about the marketing and the consumer buying cycle and all the things. So definitely reach out to Freddie or Cindy and see if there's something that Wheeler can help you out with, or sign up for one of the lunch and learns. Maybe start there, come in and just kind of learn, and then do your research and then sign up or set up a one-on-one meeting with them so that they can really dive into your business. I think that's important, is to what is it? Kind of make that jump, make the leap, at least go find something out.
Right.
Education is not going to hurt you. Knowledge, it's not going to hurt you to go learn. I think contrary to some beliefs, and I know, cause I used to be in sales, and I kind of still in a way am in a way.
Yeah.
And people, I always feel people think, oh, they're just trying to sell me something. They're just trying to sell me something. That's not always the case. I mean, they're to some degree, there may be some out there that do, but I think when it comes to stuff like this, they genuinely have your business's well-being and want to see the growth and want to see you succeed. And so, again, just go out there and learn, and get some information. I always say,
Questions are free.
Yeah. It's good to have information. It's good to have that in the background, because you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
So let's always say that. You don't know what you don't. See, I have sayings. I have things I say.
Okay.
Mike always comes up with the cool sayings. I just,
It's a sad dog that doesn't wag its own tail is my favorite.
Yeah.
So,
Wow, I like that.
yeah. People don't know how awesome you are until you tell them, right? They also don't know if you've done something for them and it makes you happy. Like a dog, you can tell. Like their tail wags like crazy, right? The faster it wags, the happier they are, right? So if you don't brag on yourself, how do people know how awesome you are? So sad dog doesn't wag its own tail.
There you go.
So cool. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming on the show with us today.
And I ask a question of every guest that comes on.
I'm about to just steal all your thunder.
Except for Peaks Today. I apologize. I forgot them. But the two questions are, the first one is, how long have you been part of the CVABC? Put you on the
I
spot.
don't even know, because when I went to work for Wheeler, we were already members.
Okay.
So they have been, I know, members and sponsors. So let me just preface it. Wheeler is one of our top premier sponsors. So,
awesome.
We are appreciative of all that they do for us. And, but they have been there since I have been at the CVABC. So going on 6 years at least. So I can say that.
Okay. 6 years at least. That's a long time. That's longer than me.
Yeah.
So what do you think is the best benefit of being part of the Central Virginia Business Coalition?
I think, first of all, if you watch Heather, she's out there, sleeves rolled up, really working for a thriving business community and providing support. And I think that's infectious. And then I think all of the work that you're doing, all the programs and events that you're doing. And like now, I think you've even expanded into Roanoke a little bit. It's just incredible to watch. And we work with probably within our footprint 9 different chambers of commerce organizations. And this is one of the top because of that.
Wow. We appreciate you
So-
saying that.
Yeah,
I was
that's
highly
awesome.
impressed.
Yeah.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome.
I'm gonna send you to come back every episode and just
Right.
ask that question over and over again. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
But thank you guys so much. And again, we've had a great partnership with Wheeler, and whether it's been with events or the lunch and learns and being able to offer the education pieces of it. So I can definitely vouch that you're gonna, if you go and reach out to them, Cindy, Freddie, any of them that you talk with are gonna they're gonna give you what you need.
Yeah.
And so
And you can go to WheelerMediaSolutions.com or WheelerDigital.com, and you can reach out to either of us that way, I think. So, yeah, we have a brand new, flashy website.
Ooh, flashy.
Yeah, I like flashy.
I think Wheeler Digital definitely has a lot of testimonials from some of our current clients. Not quite sure if Wheeler Media Solutions does. I should know that, but I don't. But check them both out regardless.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I will just really quickly plug before we leave. Don't forget to get your tickets for the Peaks Wine, Beer, and Art Festival on the 27th. And I'm also going to say, because I don't know that they've cut it off, but even if they have, you can still go to the winery. This Saturday is the Fables and Feathers 5K run at the winery there. So definitely go check that out. She was on the show talking about it a couple of weeks ago. And
Are you going to do the run?
I would if I could, but I can't. I will be doing a ribbon cutting
Okay.
for Boone Tractors opening in Salem,
Oh,
and
very
we're really excited about that event. So that was my next thing, was saying come out. We actually have 3 ribbon cuttings in the next 3 days. So 2 on Friday, 1 on Saturday. If you're here in the Bedford area, we're going to be doing the ribbon cutting for Liberty Creamery. Opening at 11 a.m. on Friday. We're going to be they're opening at noon, but we're going to be doing the ribbon cutting around 11 a.m. for them on Friday. And then County Compass, one of our other members, is going to be at 4 o'clock at our office in Forest. And then Boone Tractor is opening up their Salem location. They're doing their grand opening. You're going to want to come out to that. They're going to be from, I think, 11 to 1. 11 to 1. There's going to be food. So you can come out and grab some lunch. We're going to be doing the ribbon cutting right around noon. So they're going to have their equipment out for you to check out and kind of see what they're offering there at their new location. So, make plans. There's always opportunities to network, ribbon cuttings, networking events, major events, wine festivals. Get out there. It's going to be beautiful weather. So we hope to see you at something over the next couple of weeks. And until then, you can find out more information at
cvabc.org. See you next week.